Hi friends, and welcome back to the channel for another furniture makeover. I'm super excited about this one and I believe you guys will be as well, so please keep watching until the end. And then I just wanted to welcome anyone that's new here. I'm so glad you're joining me on today, and I just encourage you to hit that subscribe button and join the family. So if you don't know, my name is Ebony. I'm a furniture artist, obviously, and I specialize in taking neglected pieces of furniture and turning them into something beautiful. So with that being said, I found this dresser on OfferUp for $50, and I think that's a bit much. They were asking $60. I offered $50, but essentially I should have offered $40 because it's cracked on the side, the drawers are chipped, and it's just gonna take some fixing. But it was nothing I can't handle. So if you're interested in seeing this dresser transform, please keep watching and we're gonna get right into it. So as always, I'm gonna start by removing the hardware, and then I'm gonna clean the entire piece with my Dawn soap and warm water. So one thing I try to always make sure and do is to spray all of my pieces with Raid, inside and out. And so because I sprayed this one, I wanted to make sure I got that smell out. So I'm gonna go ahead and not just clean the top of the drawers, but I'm gonna clean the insides of the drawers as well, just to kind of get rid of that lingering smell, which by the way, it's not a bad smell. I actually don't mind it, but I didn't want to just leave it in there. So make sure you're spraying all of your pieces though, because I did find 2 live black widows living underneath this dresser. It freaked me out. And by the way, there's a product, and I believe it's called Hot Shot, and it works for ants, roaches, and spiders. So that's the one I would recommend that you use, and just go ahead and give everything a nice thorough spray. Okay, so now it's time to repair this crack. Now, I will say the seller was very intentional about their angles, so I didn't know it was cracked until we drove an hour to pick up the dresser, and by that point, I wasn't leaving empty-handed. So I figured I could just put some support on the inside of the dresser. So I used my leftover wood chips from my last project, and I just bonded them from the inside. And then in a moment here, I'll explain what I'm gonna do on the outside. Okay, so now that the inside is nice and secure, I'm gonna take my wood glue and just draw a line across the crack. And then my dad actually came through with these clamps, so that worked out. I didn't have to go buy any or anything like that. And actually he said I could have them, so that's perfect. And then while that's drying, I'm actually gonna repair these chipped drawers. So I'm gonna use Bondo, and this is my typical method. Now, one drawer is more chipped than the other, So on the smaller chip, my typical method worked perfectly. On the bigger chip, not so much. So I'll explain that in just a moment. So usually what I do is I just build upon the bondo. I just kind of build it on top of itself, and I use tape on the bottom so that it can have somewhere to land. Like I said, the bigger chip, when I sanded it, it just fell apart. So either the chip was just way too big or I just sanded it too soon. But either way, I remembered I saw this hack on Instagram. Shout out to whoever it was. I don't remember. But you just put some nails in that empty area and then you're able to build your bondo on top of that. So that's what I did, and here are the results. Okay, so turning our attention back to the dresser, now that it's dry, one side of the wood was raised above the other, so I wanted to sand it nice and flush. The only thing is I probably should not have used an 80 grit sandpaper. I think it was just a bit too strong because now at this point I've exposed the natural wood grain. So I probably should have used a 120, maybe even a 220, but that's what I ended up doing, so it is what it is. I put some wood filler along that crack, and then we're gonna go ahead and scuff sand the entire piece. Okay, so we're gonna end the day by priming the entire piece. That little crinkly noise that you're hearing is the foil that was stuck to this paint roller. I don't know if you guys are aware, you can put your paint rollers in the refrigerator and use them more than once. So I didn't quite wrap it completely to the end, and that was the part that began to dry out. So the foil got stuck to the roller. But I'm just using a roller today because I feel like the primer goes further with the roller, and then I also feel like it's just less cleanup. I don't mind using the sprayer, and this isn't to say I won't ever go back, but on this particular day, I just felt like rolling. So I might just switch it up from time to time, and this is just the phase that I'm in right now. The only thing that you have to do is go ahead and sand back that roller texture, which really isn't a problem because I always sand in between primer and paint anyway. So that's pretty much going to be it for today. I just want to mention, because I don't think I said it, this is my Zen Ben shellac-based primer. This is my go-to primer, and I think it just does a job well done. So yeah, with that being said, you guys, I'm going to catch you guys tomorrow or the day after. But nonetheless, that's it for today. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Good, beautiful morning, everyone. So today is day 2 of my work day, and it's time to get into the painting process. So this is, for me, the fun part. And if you watched my last video, you would know about this paint already, but if not, this is Gemini. Well, this is Evo Eclipse by Gemini, and I get this from Dunn Edwards. Now, this is a water-based lacquer, and I actually got the dull finish. Now, the dull finish is actually more equivalent to a satin finish. The satin finish, in my opinion, is more equivalent to a glossy finish. So I actually love this dull finish. After I sprayed it on, it was perfect. It was everything I was hoping for. So that's that. This color is actually River Reflections by Benjamin Moore. And honestly, I was going for a dark color originally, and then things just didn't go the way I wanted them to go. And it took me like 2 days to pick a color. I was influenced by Pinterest, and you guys probably know how that goes. Pinterest makes everything look so beautiful. And so when I saw this color, I fell in love with it. And if I'm honest, it's not the direction I was going in for this piece, but I do think it's a beautiful color, and I think it came together nicely. I just had a different vision. That's the only thing. Now, my sprayer, unfortunately, was acting up on this day, and so I was very discouraged, but I pressed through it. Y'all would not even know that I was having issues. So basically what it's doing is it's what it's doing is it's hissing. So what that means is as I pull the trigger and I release the trigger, air is still flowing through the cap. And I've had so many different troubleshooting issues with this gun. Not to talk bad about this gun. I don't even entirely blame the gun. I know there are things I can do better and be more diligent about in terms of like cleaning the gun immediately or cleaning the gun more thoroughly. So I do take responsibility for that. But it was hissing, and I did have to end up lubricating one of the fixtures. So I thought about maybe doing a troubleshooting gun video, just in case anybody might have this gun. I've never seen anyone else use this gun, but I've learned so much. This might be my third gun, this same exact one, because they come with a warranty, and I always take it back and exchange it for a new one. So now I feel like I got it down. I think I've experienced everything I could possibly experience in terms of this gun breaking down on me. But out of all the guns I've ever used, this is still ranking #1 for me. And yeah, so I'll try to keep the clips in here so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. It did cause for me to have some paint runs in a couple of areas, but it wasn't anything crazy. I eventually fixed it, and then when I got to the top of the dresser, it was spraying the way it was supposed to spray. The only thing is I maybe should have adjusted my fan pattern a little bit, but we got through it. So with that mouthful, that sums up everything. The only thing left to do is put the hardware on. I'm of course gonna do a second coat of paint off camera, and then you guys are gonna be ready to see the reveal.